Hey guys, it's Rebecca at Tabbert, and I am here because, as you know by now, my whole goal and passion in life is to inspire, motivate, and coach others to live a healthy and fit lifestyle. And what I've realized recently is there's amazing stories all around me, which I've always known, but there was one sitting right in front of me that honestly I felt very driven to share with you because I know it's going to inspire thousands of people, and I wanted to help get that story out. And that is the story of Chris Williams, this gentleman sitting right next to me. Now, I know Chris. This is actually the first time we've actually met, but I've heard a lot about him over the last several months because he's my dad's personal trainer. My dad lives in South Carolina. And the reason I'm so myself motivated and inspired by Chris is because you were working here and you had a pretty traumatic event happen several months ago now. So if you could kind of tell us where you were at before and what happened.
Sure. I had a traumatic spine injury on July 15th of this year in North Carolina. I had a motorcycle accident. The motorcycle actually impacted me in the back and had a C3, T7, T8 spinal fracture with a spinal cord injury. Broke my right shoulder, all 10 ribs on my right side and 2 of the ribs on my left side. And was diagnosed on the spot as a paraplegic. I lost all feeling and movement from the chest down right there at the moment of the impact. And was hospitalized in Greenville, South Carolina for 3 months. I spent in the hospital. So.
And then I know it's been an amazing story since you've been in the hospital, but even the fact that when you first got there, what was your prognosis and what did they say about the fact that you were already so fit? How did that tie into all of this?
First and foremost, the impact of the motorcycle would have killed me if I didn't have dense muscle tissue, musculature in my back. Great cardiovascular health, the damage and the bruising to my lungs and the damage caused by the spinal cord injury actually dropped my oxygen level very low. Due to great resting heart rate, good oxygen processing, and great cardiovascular health, I was actually able to breathe very slow, controlled, shallow breaths. I laid on the cellular for an hour before anyone found me, and did not have to be trached, did not have to have tubed or assisted breathing whatsoever, which actually facilitated recovery quite a bit. And at the moment of the accident, when my parents got there and had a T7 spinal fusion to alleviate the pressure off my spinal cord, they told my parents that there was less than a 1% chance I'd ever walk again, that I'd never have feeling again, and that they basically were inheriting a 30-year-old child that would be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
And at that point, you were paralyzed from the chest down.
I had no feeling from the chest down. I had sensation and I had flickers of things, but honestly, I was told that was just kind of in my mind because it wasn't really showing any sort of signs of movement whatsoever.
The reports they saw didn't line up with what you were experiencing. But
Correct.
You took what they had to tell, which is one of the things that really inspired me, is because every step of the way, you've ignored the negative reports, so to speak, and you've used your mental strength to really push beyond that and drive yourself to really heal and come a lot further than obviously anyone expected you to. So your initial prognosis was, less than 1% of chance to walk again. So what started happening in the hospital?
Well, I made a choice. You make a conscious choice whether to either acceptance or to fight, and I decided I was going to fight as hard as I could, and I was a terrible, troublesome patient because I was stubborn and wanted to do the things that I wanted to do, and I basically just facilitated the muscle movement. I felt like I could move, and if I could get, if you can imagine, one strand of tissue in one muscle to move, then I would focus on that and develop mastery of that, and I made it my 24-hour-a-day job. Even when I was speaking to people in the back of my mind, I would be sitting in a wheelchair trying to focus on moving my toe on my left foot, and due to that, I got a top-down progression of complete left side came back, complete right side came back, and actually they kept me in hospital an additional 2 months in order to facilitate the great progress I started making.
Yeah. And you were explaining earlier that it was really the help of a lot of friends also that were coming in, and other fitness trainers and the fitness community coming in and helping you physically move.
Hands down, non-traditional method of rehab. Unfortunately, with traumatic spine injuries, the rehab basically consists of here's a wheelchair and keep your hopes up. So I sought out the knowledge of my peers and my colleagues, and I'd have friends that would come to the hospital and put my legs through the range of motion and move them,
Yeah.
and allow me to focus, to see with my eyes that my foot and my leg was moving through time and space, and focus on that, and I was able to facilitate movement, facilitate contraction through that, and make a recovery.
And so then when you finally were released from the hospital, how long was that, and what stage were you at then, and where are you at today?
I just was able to stand up and walk on a walker when I left the hospital. So on October 31st was the last day I've ever sat in a wheelchair. And then from there I progressed from a walker to a cane, and with the progression and movement in my legs, we discovered that I'd actually torn my ACL and my PCL in the accident in my right knee. So I'm basically building strength to enable myself to have that surgery, but I'm walking without a cane as much as I can, and
That's awesome.
just working on normal gait pattern. And I plan to have surgery and be 100% or better by July, by the 1-year anniversary of my accident. So that's definitely the plan.
And I'm sure you will be. And can I also, because we were talking about this earlier, I think this is another milestone, because it wasn't that you just hit kind of a stomach, or what somebody else might have perceived as a roadblock one time, but multiple times. Obviously, the first one, the biggest one is the fact that you survived. The second one was doctors telling you you're a 1% chance. The next one, anyway, I'm sure there's lots of them behind along the way, but the next big one is the first doctor told you he wouldn't operate on your knee.
Correct. When so to his credit, we did
Right,
not meet in
sure.
person, but on paper, I'm a T7 paraplegic. I'm someone that's never supposed to walk again. So I assume he said, "Why should I bother repairing this kid's knee?" But as being a knowledge-seeking person about health and fitness, I called doctors until I found someone that would meet me and someone who would listen to me. And it's
Yeah.
it's a blessed and a great thing to see the look on people's faces when I walk into the doctor's office and they look at the chart and look at me and look at the chart and look at me. But
Right.
we have a responsibility as people for the ones we love and the ones that love us to be as fit and healthy as we possibly can. And if you think about it this way, the more fit we are, the more indestructible we are.
Right.
Whether it be the common cold or whether it be a traumatic injury. And I
Right.
pray no one has a traumatic injury such as me, but
Sure.
we were discussing earlier about so many people don't do the things they love
Right.
anymore because their knee hurts, or they've got a hurt ankle, or they've got a bad elbow, and
Right. Or someone tells them they shouldn't be able to because they're too old.
they're
or
too
this,
old, or anything.
Right.
Overcoming objections and overcoming obstacles is what living a fit and healthy lifestyle is all about, and I hope that we can inspire people
Absolutely.
to worry about their health and to make sure they're going to be around a long time to enjoy the things that they love.
Right. Awesome. That's fantastic. So your next goal is the surgery, and we're going to be praying for that and helping you along with that. And then also, though, this has inspired you to put more effort into a relentless life. So why don't you tell us
Yes,
a
we
little bit
have a blog. Some of my good friends and I, the guys that really helped me out in the hospital, started a blog at relentlesslife.com. One of the adjectives that the nurses used to describe me was that I was just so relentless, and I never wanted to rest, and I never wanted to sit down. And so we started this blog. It's a website. There's free fitness advice on there. There's blogs. We have some fitness apparel. But the main thing that we do is we sponsor stories of people we call relentless athletes, whether you're really a professional athlete, an amateur athlete, or whether you're just an athlete in the sport of life, a husband, a father, a brother, a son, a mother, a wife, a sister. We want to hear your story of how you overcame fear and obstacles, or how we can help you overcome fear and obstacles and be the most successful person you can. And we've actually been able to give back and contribute a lot to the community and sponsor some people to do some things they normally wouldn't have done, like run a triathlon or participate in a marathon. So really passionate about that, and really want to spread the word about health and fitness and wellness for everybody.
That's amazing. Thanks so much. I know that you truly have motivated and inspired me through your story.
I appreciate that.
I'm sure thousands of others as well. So thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.